Has come to the peak when the U.S. and the Western governments have submitted the call for wider sanctions at the UN Security Councils in 2007. Then the Chinese vetoed the call, and then since then, I think Chinese support for Myanmar has become quite complete and very supportive. Throughout the 90s and in the 2000s, the Chinese economic relationship with Myanmar has also become very strong to the point that now Myanmar totally dependent on China in terms of trade, in terms of investment, in terms of soft loans, economic aid. So what we are seeing is the course of the evolution where Myanmar has totally become totally dependent on China in both political and economic spheres. So the question is whether the China at this point, facing all the security challenges in the region, will be using Myanmar to promote the kind of relationship that will benefit the two countries at the same time. It will also benefit the region. And then the China has been supporting the Burmese military in terms of arms supply, in terms of training, in terms of strategic advice. And then because Chinese perceive that the Burmese military is the strongest institution in the country that can control the country united. As Burma also neighbors with India, and it has been trying to strike a balance between China and India for some time, but lately I think it's tilted very much toward China, and then I think it also caused a lot of alarms in New Delhi. So I think this is another issue. In terms of geopolitics and security cooperation, of course, a rising China with concern about the energy security and also the resource needs and the market access, they have come up with a very huge project recently to build a pipeline across Myanmar. And this pipeline originally planned to deliver the natural gas from the Bay of Bengal, owned by Myanmar, to the southwest China, but later it was added with another layer of other layers of pipelines and also other complementary projects that will also deliver some of the wine and liquefied natural gas the Chinese have been transported from Middle East and Africa to deliver to southwest China. So I think this is part of the Chinese grand scheme to bypass the Malacca Strait. And so I think this indicates much more entrenched interest of China to forge their relationship with Myanmar. So I think this is the one dimension that China has already upgraded the relationship with Myanmar to a large extent. China has been supplying arms, intelligence, also have South Naval Corporation, and also built a few arms factories inside the country. And then in fact, the Burmese army has been transforming to use all the equipment from China, all the people being trained in China, and so become part of the Chinese. The most important aspect of the cooperation is in the naval exercises. So I think this is another area Myanmar will become part of the Chinese strategy to assess the two oceans. And another feature which is really problematic is resource extraction. Myanmar, even though we are small, but we have a vast endowment of natural resources, and the Chinese has been taking all kinds of natural resources from Myanmar, and the country quickly became a resource pit for China. The infrastructure development is something that China has been planning to open access for western part of China, so there have been major investment projects being pushed on the landway and riverway connection from Yunnan to the Indian Ocean and finally through the southern part of Thailand. And in the medium term, because of the type of economic development which has been going on in Myanmar, is not the type that we are seeing in other Southeast Asian countries, or maybe perhaps in Vietnam or even China. It is the type which is very much driven by the resource revenues and also the total dependence on China, which also creates a huge risk of being collapsed once some of these narrowly based conditions no longer exist. And so perhaps I think what is the most urgent thing, which is also the long-term interest of both countries, is to push for the genuine economic reforms and political liberalization in Myanmar that can lead to more peaceful and prosperous country. This is where China can really make a difference in helping to push Myanmar reform, both in short term and the long term, that will serve both short term and the long term interests.